All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining me today. This is your daily hit, and I am Adam Jewell. Today is a good day. I'm probably late by about a day on this, but I want to comment on it anyways. One of the best things I've seen recently is one of Trump's latest picks, which is Matt Gaetz, member of the House from Florida, as the new Attorney General, right? The top dog, the top officer of the United States. And this still needs to get confirmed by the Senate, but Trump has put him out there. I think it's a fantastic pick. I mean, this comes along with Tulsi Gabbard being picked as the Director of National Intelligence, RFK as Health and Human Services Secretary, Pete Hegseth as Defense Secretary. Let's see, Vivek and Musk for Doge, the government efficiency. And then I'm still wondering where Kash Patel is going to go. But, this Matt Gaetz pick, I think is incredible. I think it's awesome. Um, what I've come to realize is not that many people know a lot about Matt Gaetz other than some of the controversy that he drew up in, kind of the scandal or whatever you'd like to call it with Kevin McCarthy in the House. And, um, the motion to vacate the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, getting that pushed through, and, why that was so controversial. And I mean, I can speak a little bit about that, although I'll say I think Matt stood on his principles. I think there are things Kevin McCarthy did that he shouldn't have done. A lot of it working with Democrats to push things through. He didn't hold to his values on any of the debt ceiling issues that were going on, the budget issues that were going on. I actually praise Gates for doing what he did with Kevin McCarthy, right? Which goes in hand with one of the reasons I'm excited about this, because when Trump first came into office, or even was running in 2016, I think one of the phrases that people love the most was "drain the swamp," right? And that's still said in many different places, but honestly, we didn't see a lot of swamp draining 2016 through 2020. I mean, we just didn't see it, right? There was the same old people putting in the same old positions, or some of them got fired, yes, but we didn't see a lot of draining the swamp. Matt Gaetz is one that will drain the swamp. That is what Matt Gaetz does. He is kind of annoying in doing it. Not to mention, he looks like Beavis, which I think is pretty funny. But Matt Gaetz is a bulldog. Matt Gaetz is incredibly smart. He's a trained attorney. I don't think he ever practiced prosecuting. I think he went from getting his law degree, going right into politics. Matt's relatively young, but the way that I got to know Matt Gaetz and who he actually was, it was actually watching long form podcasts, right? And the podcast that I watched with him, which was a 2 hour podcast, was the Tim Pool podcast, and this was back in September of this year, I think it was. So not that long ago, or maybe it was last year. I can't remember which one it was. It was right around the same time as Kevin McCarthy was getting ousted. But um, if you watch that entire 2 hours with Gates, he will give you so much information and so much inside knowledge and just inside perspective as to how DC works, how Congress works, how people are paid off by special interests, by lobbyists. He gives you very clear cut examples. Um, yes, he does talk like a bro. I'll throw that out there. He does for sure. And some people like that, some people don't. But this guy is in Congress for a reason. He's there to point out all the ridiculous shit that goes on there, and he seems as though he is a principled guy, and that's probably why Trump has picked him, because he's kind of a no bullshit, no nonsense kind of dude. And I would urge everyone, go and watch that podcast. I'll link it below in this video, in the comments. And I'll also link another one that's only like a 20-minute clip from that same podcast, just so you don't have to go out and watch a full 2 hours. But if you're just sitting there thinking Matt Gaetz, who is this guy, he's probably a troublemaker, or you have some bad opinion of him or something, I would very, very much urge you to take 20 minutes out of your day and just listen to him for 20 minutes. The guy makes so much sense. He gives all of his viewers so much insider knowledge, like I had said, which brings up another point. One of the things that I like the most about this transition team, that Trump's bringing in all these picks, is how much they talk to the public, right? Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Vivek, Musk, uh, and now Gates. These people are actually out talking to the public on long form interviews, podcasts that people are actually listening, so they can get a real clear understanding. These are, sometimes live, but a lot of the times unedited podcasts where if they make a false move or say something false, they don't have the ability to go back and edit it. The podcasters won't even allow them to do that. It's not network news. These are our representatives, people that we elect, that are actually out there in long form talking to all of America, right? It's not just at a local place where you're sitting in front of 100, 200 people and no one ever hears what you say, and you're only answering questions or putting out your bullet points. These are real people giving their real stories and real feelings, real opinions on things, and they're just bringing a level of bringing a level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Transparency, to their jobs, to what they're voting for and why, and to why they're handling the jobs the way that they are. So I think this is a great day. I think, he's going to be kind of, Gates is going to be kind of a loose cannon, right? I think he was a dog on a leash for the last couple years. He's that guy that's sitting back in Congress calling out everybody's bullshit, but really doesn't have the opportunity or doesn't have the path to get things done. And I think that irritated him. And so he was loud and he was obnoxious and he did things that caused a ruckus and he did things that drew attention to himself, in which, people then point the finger and say, oh, this guy, he's only there for the spotlight. He only is there for attention. Or maybe it's just that he's doing the right things that are putting the spotlight on him or bringing him attention, right? Yes, he is caught up in some scandals. I think, I don't know this for sure, but I think that it was like underage sex with an underage person, 16-year-old girl or something, and was still under a house ethics investigation for that. But I think as of today, they dropped that investigation. And if he actually does become AG, it wouldn't have mattered anyways. But I just want to play 1 minute from a clip from MSNBC that is talking about Gates and this pick, and then just comment on it, right? Because this is kind of an important clip for a couple different reasons. So just let me play this clip for you, hear this, and stick with me.
By, again, former U.S. Attorney David Kelly and another David Frum from The Atlantic and a former Bush White House official. David Frum, your view of this?
Well, the appointment is certainly alarming. It's also kind of ludicrous. Unlike the Tulsi Gabbard appointment, which is just plain sinister all the way through, a thoroughly untrustworthy person to be head of Director of National Intelligence. But I want to bring a message to cheer people up a little bit. Because one of the things that you would expect of a president with a big agenda is you try to you have very limited time to get a big agenda done. You want to move your people into place as rapidly as possible. So a president with a big agenda, an Obama, Ronald Reagan, they pick broadly acceptable people. They don't pick some Marxist agitator to be Secretary of the Treasury. They pick Timothy Geithner. They don't pick some oddball. They pick respectable people who can get through the Senate pretty easily because the clock's ticking. You get your people in place, and then you start legislating with the very finite time that you have, especially with a House majority as tiny as the present one.
All right. So a couple things from that guy's clip right there. One, he was saying how sinister Tulsi Gabbard is. Tulsi Gabbard is sinister? Someone please explain that to me. I would have voted for Tulsi Gabbard for president if she would have, gotten in either through the Democrats, through independent, maybe even one day Republican. I voiced this many times before. I think Tulsi Gabbard is fantastic, right? To say that Tulsi Gabbard is sinister, I honestly, I like raised my eyebrows just not understanding that when I first heard that. It's ridiculous. The next part of this that I thought was really, really interesting is just how he goes on to explain that you don't want to put these controversial people up as appointments to go through the Senate because, the Senate has their own little secret ballots, secret votes that they do to confirm these people, and you want to put people in that are known, they're insiders, blah blah blah. You know what that is? You want to put people in that have been in the swamp. That's what he's saying. You want to put swamp people in these positions because they're known, they know how to get stuff done, blah. It's ridiculous, right? This is why I bring it back to Trump, draining the swamp finally, along with Matt Gaetz, who will help now, right? This is a controversial figure, sure. Is he somebody that could stir it up and actually get something different done? Yeah, and that's why he's controversial, right? He's not controversial over anything, outside of politics or, the sex scandal thing, yes, but almost every Republican has something like that Democrats have thrown at them. So I don't even know how much weight to put on that. But this guy in this clip, he's essentially saying, Tulsi Gabbard, the ridiculous, absurd comments that he makes for Tulsi Gabbard, and then he goes on to say, you don't put people in like Matt Gaetz. People ruffle feathers and stir up the pot. You put people in that everyone will just say yes to, and they'll just get passed right through and keep on doing the same old bullshit that they've always been doing, right? So I love the clip just because, this is what most people in politics want. They want the swamp people there. That's why they're so pissed Trump got another second term. Trump is actually draining the swamp this time. I'm incredibly happy for that. And we'll also see how much gets done. There's a lot of people out there thinking that this is all going to be wonderful and great with all these picks. I think Trump's going to have a successful presidency. I don't think it's anything going to be earth-shattering or anything like that, but it sure looks good. But I also think they're going to come up against a lot of battles in the next 4 years. A lot of battles. Trump couldn't get much done in his first presidency, just with everything that he had thrown at him. And, yes, he has the House. Yes, he has the Senate. Yes, he has the Supreme Court. But I still think they're going to put up a hell of a fight against Trump in these 4 years, along with everyone that he's appointing. Not to mention the Senate has to confirm all these people, which there is so much talk online about the Senate, and the Senate's going to have a lot of pressure to the people of America because they're looking at these picks so closely, and they want so many of these people that Trump is picking to be part of this team. So the Senate is going to have a lot of pressure on them this time. And they should make those secret votes not secret to everyone. I don't even know why that is allowed to begin with. The last thing I'll say about Gaetz, one of the things that I really respect about him, he takes no lobbyist money. He takes no special interest money. He doesn't take any special PAC money, political action committee money, none of that, right? The guy seems pretty pure from a political perspective, right? So take it for what it is. I think this is an awesome pick. I'm incredibly excited to see what Matt Gaetz is going to do. And like I said, go out and watch that 20-minute video that I linked to below for Matt Gaetz. You will be, if you don't know him, you'll be shocked by it, right? He's pretty damn good. But that's all I got for tonight. Thanks everyone for watching. Check me out tomorrow, Your Daily Hit. You can find me on YouTube, Your Daily Hit, X, Your Daily Hit. You can find me on Facebook, all the places, Your Daily Hit. This is Adam Jewell. Thanks, y'all.